asked Claudia Snyder to read something that she wrote to Corry. So I invite Claudia up.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm honored to be doing this for Peg today. For my dear friend Corry, who I've really had the pleasure of working with in program council and just watching her grow in beauty and knowledge, and just so proud of her. So this is from Peg. I first met Corry when the fellowship did a work day at Centerpiece. She joined me at a table where we were sorting nuts and bolts and screws. She asked me 36 questions that day. I was impressed by her willingness to do something so tedious and her inquisitiveness about what I knew about volunteer opportunities in State College. When Corry first approached me about accompanying her to the UNO seminar in New York City, I had about as much interest in hanging out with teenagers as I did in having a root canal. But I also remember clearly that when I was 14, there were several adults in my life that accompanied me on travel and service work trips. For a child growing up in South Dakota, this was an opportunity. It was my opportunity to see firsthand places that I had only read about in books. And the camaraderie of my peers and the interaction with these adults had a significant positive impact on my own teenage years. It was those memories that made me say yes to Corry. In saying yes to Corry, my life changed. I got over my tood about teens, finding out that if they aren't your own children, they can't be quite as inspiring or enjoyable. Since that first trip to New York City, we've been back to 2 more UNO seminars and general assemblies in Phoenix, Louisville, Providence, and at the end of the month, we will be in Portland, Oregon. I've met many of Corry's UU team friends and advisors. I'm networking with new people here in Pennsylvania. I've become active in prison reentry work beyond my work at Centerpiece, and I've become active with UU Plan. Corry's need for a chaperone opened all these doors for me. I guess it's been a co-mentoring, if that's a word. I've watched Corry reach out and learn from teens and adults in all the conferences we've attended. I watched Corry become a leader in the Jason Priestley District and at the UNO seminars, serving as a senior youth staff in April. And at our own congregation, Corry has introduced me to our youth group and included me in some of their activities. First, she and now Andrew are part of our social action planning team. This young woman has shared her considerable organization and planning skills with our congregation. She's made the work of the UN an ongoing part of our fellowship experience. Being with Corry reminded me of who I was when I was much younger, and why I made some of the career choices I did, and how satisfying that has been. And I expect to be interacting with Corry for years to come, and I'll go on learning and exploring new things as she tells me about her adventures, her struggles, and successes. And she and I share a lot of experiences, even with our almost 50-year age difference. I say we both believe that there is a lot of horse poop. And you should shovel, if you shovel long enough, you will find a pony in there somewhere. Thank you.
And this is why she asked to sing beforehand. So Corry, before we begin your bridging, I'd like to offer you a few thoughts from your family. Will Corry's family please stand? All of you? They were all there for your first rite of passage as a Unitarian Universalist, your dedication. And today, they're all here in a new space to honor and celebrate. Know that they share this moment with you, words of your mother, you are a generous, curious, loving, and dedicated friend with an exemplary commitment to social justice. Words cannot express how blessed your father and I feel as witnesses to the growth that has been fostered, nurtured, and mentored over the years. Know that just as your family has supported you up until now, they continue to stand behind you, supporting you on your next journey. Thank you. So I'm going to start the ceremony by introducing some of the symbols. And as with many rituals or ceremonies, there are different objects which are used which hold great significance. And so there are 3 symbols today used in our bridging. The first is the bridge. This is rather self-explanatory. Represents crossing from adolescence into adulthood. The rose. Flowers play a huge role in many UU ceremonies, and often during a child dedication or naming ceremony, we welcome people to childhood by presenting them with a rose, with a very tightly closed bud, with all the thorns removed. And the tightly closed bud represents life just beginning. The thornless stem is a representation of our intent to shield the child from harm. With today's rose, you will see that the bud has begun to open wide. And you can't see, but I can tell you that my fingers will tell you too, that the stems do have thorns. We can no longer hold away the dangers of adulthood any more than we can keep the rose from blooming. And the last one is the pitcher and a bowl of water, which are behind the roses. Again, water plays a large part in UU ceremonies, representing the interconnectedness of life. So, before we begin your actual bridging, I'd like to offer a few blessings, and we'll start from the youth group. Come up and read the blessing. I want to gather right around the left thing. All together, you
For your gifts of friendship and joy, we give you our thanks. For memories we will always cherish, we give you our thanks. As you lead the youth group, we give you our blessing. May you remember the gift of listening and the stillness of the heart. May you remember the gift of laughter and the joy of the dance. May you grow in mind and spirit and body, forever our friend. We will honor you as an important tradition.
And now, a blessing from Corry's advisors throughout the years.
We have watched you grow over the past few years, gaining confidence, skills, and understanding. We hope that your time with us has equipped you to face new challenges. With joy, we give you blessings as you embark on this new journey.
I'm Andy Richards. I was one of Corry's first advisors in the youth group, and I just want to take a moment to tell you a little story. It's a little bit rambling, but I think you'll see the point by the end. You all know the amazing person that Corry is today. You've seen her here. You've seen the amazing things that she's done with the UN, Program Council, and with being an active member of this congregation. But it wasn't always this way. If you go back in time, Corry came to this congregation as a young teenager, kind of making that transition between coming out of middle school and going into high school. At the time, I don't think she was quite sure what her path was going to be. I remember Corry first coming into our congregation, a little bit of a bad girl, a little bit of a rebel. She still got that rebel spirit, but I think she's got rid of most of the bad girl part. But the story I want to share with you is about her first con experience. I think it's important to tell you a little bit about that because cons were a big part, I think, of what has made Corry who she is today. We went on our first con, and we went on this trip. It was going down to Philadelphia to a UU church there. And on the way down, somewhere past Harrisburg, someone in the car with me and the 3 other girls who were riding down to the con with me somebody had to use the bathroom. So we're on the turnpike, not the easiest place to find a restroom. We had to find an exit. So the first exit we come to happens to be very near a town where Corry used to live. And Corry tells us, hey, I know this Turkey Hill. I know this place because I used to come here all the time when I was a kid. Well, it turns out that Turkey Hill's bathroom was out of service for that particular day, so we had to go on a little drive to find a place that was open and had a bathroom, and we ended up finding a pretty scary little place to use the bathroom, but that's a whole other story. We got back on the road and off we go to probably one of the worst cons I'd ever been to. It was a rough con. Unfortunately, at this con, they had decided to hire some adults, big mistake, to run the con instead of letting the youth run the con who normally run the con. And the con turned out to be pretty iffy. There were some fun moments when the youth got a chance to kind of be themselves. It was a great con, but it's pretty bad food. The presentation was a little rough because of the way it was being run. Anyway, on the way back, we get into the car and we start driving. And as we approach the same exit where Corry told us about how close she used to live there, Corry says, "Can we please get off and go visit my house? It's just a short ways from this, from this Turkey Hill." So we get off and we start driving, and Corry says, "It's just a little bit further down the road. It's just a little bit further down the road." We keep driving and we keep driving. "Oh, it's just down the road. I used to walk to this place all the time after school. It's just a little bit further down the road." We keep driving and we keep driving. Well, it seemed like we drove about 100 miles. But finally, she says, "Oh, it's over here. This is the neighborhood I grew up in." So we go driving through the neighborhood and we wind through and find her house, and that was kind of fun. Everybody had a good time. We get back out, and all of a sudden we realize we're just a very short ways from Hershey Park. It was winter. Hershey Park was closed, but Chocolate World was open, and we decided we could stop in and go see Chocolate World. And we had a great time. We got to, buy some chocolate and then walk through the place. And even though it's closed, the park was closed, we still had a fun time. And it really changed the experience of that trip from one of kind of a lousy con that wasn't that much fun to a con that really turned out to be a fun experience with some great stories to tell later on. The point of that being, you never know where you're going to start your journey, and you never know what's going to happen during your journey. But you can make the best of your journey by paying attention to what's going on around you, listening to the other people in your life, and enjoying the time you have with them. Corry made that happen on that journey. Even though we thought she was a little crazy, we had a great con and a great experience because of that craziness. And that con turned out to be something that got Corry interested in the youth groups and going to cons, and that eventually got her involved in the UN and so many of the other things that she's done. And I'm so proud to see her up here today, scholarships that she's won, going on to college, an amazing journey that continues. And I hope she finds more fun, crazy things to do as she continues her journey through life.
If you'd all look at your insert, there's a blessing from the congregation as well. You're all ready. For your many gifts, your vision, and your energy, we welcome you into our community of freedom and responsibility. We promise to respect you and honor your uniqueness. Wherever you go, remember that you always have a home here, and remember that you are loved. So it is now time for Corry to cross the bridge. And there are two sides. One that stands, on this side stands childhood and adolescence. And this is where Corry has become a leader and a role model for her younger friends and acquaintances. And on the other side is adulthood, a vast frontier of the unknown, full of boundless opportunities and new challenges. However, there is a known entity on the other side of that bridge. We, the adults of the congregation, stand on that side. We stand with arms wide open, welcoming you into a young adulthood. And I would like to invite our young adults and our congregational leaders to join me down here by the roses. So Corry, before you, is that? You hear me through this?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Before you cross the bridge, you have a small glass of water. This water represents your childhood, the knowledge and memories which you have received. When you finish crossing the bridge, pour the water into this bowl of water, which represents the collective knowledge of adulthood. In doing so, you will have not left your childhood memories behind, but made them part of your adult journey. Corry, today we share in your journey and encourage your discovery. We celebrate your hopes and dreams. We applaud you for all that you have been, all that you are now, and all that you will be in the future. We invite you now to cross this bridge, to explore with wonder, and here to support you. So, yeah, you want to join me actually right here? Corry said that as much as she would like to offer a reflection, she doesn't think that she would be able to get through it. So please, afterwards, if you'd like to share a conversation with her, know that she would love that. So Corry, it is my hope that this community of faith has given you the space and the support needed to bring you this far on the journey, and that it has helped you find the spiritual tools you will need for the challenges of young adulthood that lie ahead. My wish and hope for you is that wherever you are next in a few years, that you will find a UU Faith community to hold and nurture you and help you discover the ways in which each of us is called to make the world a better place. We have some gifts to give to you. The first is, yeah. I have one gift to give you today. The other are stuck in transit as I put a typo on the computer, so I apologize. The first is a book called Becoming. It's a spiritual guide for navigating adulthood. A few of us have signed and written some notes to you. If you would like to sign it and add a note to Corry, she will have it with her afterwards. You can certainly do that. So that is for you. The other things that will be coming your way in the coming week. The price is right, yes. We have a book on becoming more fully human, as you have yourself self-identified as a humanist with the two U's. So we have that for you. We have some UU note cards so that wherever you go, you feel that we are always here and we would love to hear from you in your journeys. And then the last thing we have for you, we do know that you have one bamboo necklace, but we would like to provide you with another one with an equality sign, because she has worked very hard, and I know will continue to work very hard for SOGI equality. I was taught that by her. I thought it was always just LGBTQA+. She says it's way too many letters, so it's SOGI, S-O-G-I, which is sexual orientation and gender identity, right? Hey, see, I learned something. So before Corry, before we close up, we would like to sing, Corry would like to sing one final hymn with you. Yes, you said you did. You don't have to. It's number 1009, the Teal hymnal, which is Meditation on Breathing. There are 3 different parts, so you can pick one.
This is up to everyone.
Yeah, everyone who wants to sing, go ahead. Corry, as we conclude today's bridging ceremony, I offer you this blessing written by Jean Olson. May you be brave enough to expose your aching woundedness and reveal your vulnerability. May you speak your deepest truths, knowing that they will change as you do. May you sing the music within you, composing your own melody, playing your song with all your heart. May you draw, paint, sculpt, and sew, showing the world your vision. May you write letters, poetry, biography, slogans, graffiti, the great novel, laying bare your words to love and hate. May you love even though your heart breaks again and again, and until the end of your days, may your life be filled with possibilities and courage. That concludes the bridging ceremony, and we have some closing words from Phil.
Actually, the closing words are from T.S. Eliot. I'm just going to read them. What we call a beginning is often the end, and to make an end is to make a beginning. The end is where we start from. We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time. Go in peace.